This is me playing 25 and 50 PLO on Bet Online. This is a continuation of our last session, so let's jump right into it. If you haven't seen the first one, uh, it's pretty cool. I had an epic suck out uh, aces against trips. It's at the very end of the video, so go check it out. Alright, let's just jump right in. So jacks here. If cutoff or button opens, I think we can fold. With a limp, we're gonna come along. And just FYI, if you guys are ever playing and there's no one else opening in front of you and you're the button, don't limp. Yeah, 99% of the time. Maybe there's other reasons you want to limp sometimes, like a very small amount of time, but usually you just want to open. King Jack 9-7. I think it's okay. In tougher games, I think this might be a fold because we would get 3-bet like we just did. But it plays all right. We have a king high suit on this flop. We should continue. Yeah, we could even lead, but it's a little bit ambitious. This is interesting because, well, obviously we have to fold, but we've seen this before too. In our last video, this guy bets kind of big and then he jams. So I think what's happening is this villain realizes this person is betting wide. So last and yeah, Chief has folded to uh, Cat's jams. So yeah, nothing more, nothing else to say about that. Uh, Interesting call. I don't know why we called there. I think it was checked all the way to the river, and we had one jack or two jacks there. So I thought villain could be bluffing, and it was a pop bet, but it was kind of cheap. So I guess I just wanted to peel. Like some people might uh, bet a lot often there, so I don't love it, but I guess it's okay. Top left, we're gonna fold. We have a gutter and a flush draw, but our flush draw is kind of bad, so in a multi-way pot, it's no good. If we're heads up, we definitely peel. Top right, good hand. I think we want to 3-bet, especially against those notes. Look like he's pretty bad, so yeah. Aces, we're gonna 3-bet. Interesting, because Cat has been really aggressive, and then he just cold called a 3-bet. So when people usually call cold call a 3-bet, and it's usually because they're bad. Sometimes because they have a dry hand, but should make note of that. On this flop, we're gonna c-bet. Yeah, good flop, top right, small c-bet. I like it. We have the second nuts here. Um, we could get a little bit tricky and slow down. Um, we're probably not gonna fold even if we bet and then villain jams. Yeah. Either way here, I think we do bet again just for value because things like a queen high flush, maybe even 10 high flush, or maybe even any flushes might call here. So, but I like the idea of checking because it's likely that villain doesn't have a a, a set because you probably would have seen something happen on the flop, and it's a 10-5-3, so being under the gun open, uh, the only hand villain could conceivably have is like our tens. Even that's kind of a stretch. So yeah, I think I actually like a check back better there, um, because we're probably not going to get two streets of value anyway, and we give room to the villain to bluff or make a hero call. Like if the turn was a seven, right? Like if a straight came out or something. Yeah, this could go either way. I think um, Jack seven, ace ten. We're suited to the ace, so call or yeah, I think a call is better than a fold. People aren't three betting often enough for it to be a fold, I think. Interesting. I think yeah, we want a PO because we have two double gutters. No, excuse me, two gutters. So like a double gutter, and they're both nuts. If a eight comes, if a queen comes, we have the nuts. So and then we have redraws to better straights. Two of diamonds is good card for villain. Now we just have to give up. We don't have any diamond draws or any blockers to bluff if a diamond comes, so we just fold. Um, Interesting. Bottom left. I think a fold is better on bottom left. We just have an open ender. We do have some backdoor equity to other straights and diamond draws, but yeah, more often than not, we're just gonna lose on the turn. And we're out of position, so yeah, I think a fold is better. Um, Top right, we have another hand. Double suited aces. It's good. There's action, and it's nice because when we four bet, it looks like we could be re-squeezing. So sometimes we might get action lighter. Then we get a call, and we're just gonna pot with the stack to pot ratio 1-to-1. Nothing much else to do. Just get it in. And we hit the nuts effectively. Yeah, I don't like his call on the flop. It's a naked queen. And then, yeah, it's even better like because he has a pair of nines. If that nine was impaired, it would be a better call because he has more two pair outs. Now, if this was a 8-7 instead, I think that's okay because he has gutter outs. That still has like 40% against our aces, which is enough. But his hand here is yeah pretty bad. I don't know. It's like either way, I think it's less than 2-to-1 probably. Either way, it's not good because yeah we could have a way better hand than his. Anyway, yeah, the bottom two hands in the middle. Standard opens, I think. Interesting aces on the bottom right. It's pretty wet. Um, with the ace jack, I think c bet's good. Yeah, in a five way with aces, Um, we just want to give up usually. There's too many people. Uh, yeah, it looks like we're going for a raise with our boat. Um, I think it's okay. We don't. We want to build a pot. Although I don't think we're gonna get called very often, so maybe it's better not to raise. But at the same time, if villain has any kind of jack, he might call. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a call there sometimes too, instead of the raise. It's double suited king, queens would open that. On the button, I think it's okay with the sixes here. We can open. We like a C bet. I don't know. Sometimes I check back and kind of give up or see how villain reacts, but I think a C bet is better because yeah, we get check raised. We're definitely folding. With the kings, standard open. We get three bet from the small blind. We're gonna call. I really like to play queen jack 10x hands. Um, yeah, you'll see me probably overplaying it. But in this situation, I think it's okay. I think we're in the big blind, and we had the nuts on the flop here. Just to protect our range, we want to check call. Yeah, and then we're gonna call the turn too. We still have a decent straight, and top two in. Yeah, and we win against aces. Yeah, with the aces, I think if I was in his villain's position, I would not. Well, heads up, I think sometimes we can see bet, but the flop, but once we get called, I think it's a give up. And on the turn, villain has a flush draw, but I think it's just a little bit too ambitious to bet again. Now, if he had a jack, I think that's okay because that's a pretty good blocker, like a jack without a straight. Yeah, not much else to say there. With kings, so we got three bet pre-flop, then the flop is pretty wet. Actually, I think a bet on the flop is good because we have a gutter to the nuts. Um, then we do have kings too. Uh, a lot of runouts that we could do. Like we could have barreled here, but now that we showed weakness, it's kind of hard to play. Like calling here is weird, raising here is weird. Yeah, I don't care for my turn. My flop check. Yeah, would have liked to see a bet. Anyway, pretty good flop. Bottom right, definitely see bet. And I vary my c bet size and frequency. Like in this session, you see me half potting. Sometimes I'll go like even close to pot, like 89. You'll see a 89 and 93%, depending on just like how I'm feeling or like how I feel like the opponents are. The logic for betting smaller is that means we can bet more frequently. Yeah, but if so, we can bluff more often, right? And for going larger is like I feel like I'll start doing that if I feel players are just so sticky that they're very Doesn't matter what size we bet. So I go larger for value and start to bluff a little less. But of course, we still want to have some good bluffs in there. On the turn, we're going to continue betting for value, basically. We're not really afraid of getting raised. If we do, that's okay. We have tons of equity. And on that jack, uh, which is a bad card, like if villain has any kind of 10 with the other Broadway cards, then he has a straight. So yeah, we're just going to take the showdown. Yep, and I don't know what he was doing. uh, we played it pretty good, so I think that's good. He just got lucky. Yeah, it's not like he had a flush draw. He didn't have a hard draw on the flop. It's kind of a stretch for him to call. I don't like to call. On the turn, it's even a worse. It's much worse than the flop call. So yeah, um, good for him. He got there. Jacks double suited. Gonna play. Yeah, it looked like I had to do a double take on his his hand. That didn't make much sense. Yeah, make note of it. We have the nuts with kings here. I'm not sure what I did here, but I like a call more so than a raise. Looks like I clicked it back. That's pretty strong, so yeah. Well, it's such a dry board here. King six deuce rainbow. I mean, the best draw villain could have is a 5 4 3, and that's just 9 outs. So obviously we do want to build the pot, but yeah, I think with position we should just call on the flop. Cause it's hard to balance our raising range. Like there are no draws really. Like if there was like a potential wrap or even a flush draw, yeah, raise is way better. But yeah, it's very there's nothing to bluff with. So I think a call is better. Kings, standard open. Jacks, bad flop, we're done. Yeah, with the kings, we don't have anything that we can bluff with, so we're just gonna give up basically. We don't have a straight blocker or a club blocker, so with the eights, we um, we c betted. I think we're gonna continue betting here. We have lots of things going on. On this river, I think it's a check back because sure maybe aces or kings could call, but the thing is aces would 3 bet pre usually. Kings can do that too sometimes. So yeah, not much value in betting there. We could get a better kicker could beat us, so we'd be like value owning ourselves. Um, yeah, I think when I after I folded, I was trying to say I should probably call that. Um, Even against a better player, heads up, we can play this hand. Has enough potential. Um, hmm. I think with the jack of spades, I would want myself to bet the turn. Uh, there are straight potentials, but we bet the turn and then we can bluff the river again. So I would want to see like a two-step bluff because a straight can call on the turn, but if we bet again on the river, it's hard for a straight to call. So yeah, That's hard to play against though. If the note says he he bluffs a lot and he calls a lot, so yeah, he called with a straight. So like that situation, yeah. If I bet the turn and then the river also, he probably would have had to fold that hand, unless he's really sticky and just calls with straights. So, but yeah, I don't like that river bluff. I think after the turn check, we should just check it down. Actually, or go smaller. I don't know, like, it because we're not repping much, you know. Like, if we had a flush, we would have bet it on the turn, right? So yeah, it makes sense that a straight would call there. Jacks on the button. Open is good. These tens, we're gonna play them. Um, Pretty ugly flop with the jacks. I think I'm c betting here because we have a six. We blocked a six. We also have a five, so we have some potential to improve to a straight or trips or something. And then we have jacks that also block, like something like jack 10 8. So yeah, c bet's okay. To raise, we're folding. Have the nuts on the top left. Yeah, definitely want to open. Or, you know, start it to put some money in the pot. We could have gotten creative here because we, have some backdoor potential. Let's back this up a little bit. So yeah, we could, we have Broadway straight potential. We have, backdoor flush draw. And then we kind of block some of the straights, the lower end straights with the tens and the five. So if we want to have a bluff in our range, I think this hand is okay. Um, if we hit a 10, that could be good too sometimes. So yeah, that said, I think folding is just fine without getting too creative. Yeah. It'd be really weird if we just like check raise out of the blue too. So, but yeah, I could see that being a play here. Interesting board pairs. We actually have the 3-2. I think we can just continue betting. Yeah, then we take it down. Kings on this type of flop, I like to check out a position. I like to check in general just to control. On this turn, we pick up some equity. Pair of kings should be good to protect. Yeah. We also block a diamond, so if a diamond comes, we can bluff if we want. Yeah. And then we also block other straights that aren't ours, right? So yeah, good spot to bet, I think. Alright, let's try to get an exciting hand here before I wrap up this video. It's been a little bit mundane. Ace 9-5 deuce. I think open is good. Yeah, on the button. Suited ace. get 3-bet. How deep are we? Yeah, that's like 150 BBs. I think we can call. Trip aces, interesting. Um, so if villain checks, we're definitely just gonna check back. For control, and I mean villain can have ace king here. He can have king king here. He can have better aces like ace queen. Um, so yeah, check is way better. Bets C bet smaller. I like that. But yeah, we're just gonna call. Same idea for why we want to keep the bet the pot small. Uh, we get the nuts and we figure out we have the nuts, which is nice. He checks. With we need to bet here to see how much we want to bet. It's a little bit difficult. We need to bet because we want to you know build the pot. Obviously, he doesn't have an ace. I mean, the best hand he can have here is like a pair of kings or queens or something, right? There's no other draws. Um, there's straight draws, but those aren't that good. So we want to bet small because yeah, there's nothing else villain can call with really. Yeah, in the middle and the top the top middle, I would want to see a bet. I think, or yeah, even if it's like a donk bet, I think we want to bet here. So going back to our exciting hand, um, he raises us. So yeah, we can't raise back because that'd just be weird. Like that's like saying, hey, we have the nuts or we're bluffing, and it's really hard to rep. Like in practice, people aren't bluffing there. Like we could click it back, but that would be weird. So like since we have another river and position, we just want to call and see what he does. Yeah, the middle hand. Yeah, now we can value for sure. Oh, we have nuts. Then yeah, the sizing. I think yeah, being polarized, going big is good. Back to the quad aces. He pots, which is awesome. And I remember like I had an interesting decision here. So like obviously we're gonna raise, but we can manipulate the timing of it. And I've played against this guy a lot of times, this villain, a good amount of sessions, and I've noticed he's very aggressive. Obviously, we can tell by what he's doing right here, and he's a little bit stickier too. So, and he probably knows like I've been aggressive against him too, um, and able to bluff. So I wanted to kind of make him think with give him like a false timing tell, if he was looking at that, to say, hey, I'm tanking and thinking maybe I can bluff right here. So if you look at my time clock, I'm gonna kind of like let it run out for a little bit, not all the way obviously, but uh, let it run down, and yeah, and if we take too long, he can pick up on that too. So I went for like almost running, like not necessarily almost running out to the point where it looks suspicious, but yeah, and it looks like it kind of worked. Maybe he would have called anyway because he had like the second best hand here. But the way it played out, I think it would be hard for me to have anything but aces. Like for me to have a bluff here would be just bizarre, I think. Um, but yeah, we got our stack in. That's cool. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for this video. And okay, yeah, thanks for watching. Um, we have a few more than a few, like 50 minutes worth of footage here, so I'll be making some more videos. Let me know what you liked, let me know what you didn't like, you know, and if you watched this far, you must have liked some of it, so, give me a like, press the like button, a thumbs up, and if you want to continue seeing content, give me a subscribe, and yeah, I'll keep making these videos. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, take it easy.